Hello everyone, a warm welcome to today's webinar, SAFe Lite or Full Safe, which is best for us, hosted by Agile Fever.
Here I partnered with Agile Fever to discuss about the SAFe. And as you know, SAFe is scaled Agile framework for enterprises, and it has grown bigger and bigger and bigger from the time it started. In the process, there are a lot of SAFe professionals, and there is a lot of SAFe knowledge in the market. Now, how SAFe Lite came into existence. So interestingly, what happened is that when there are so many SAFe experts, given a circumstance, given a situation, what happens is that everybody has their own opinion and everybody has their own approach. I always say one thing about agile transformation. I don't want to call SAFe transformation, agile transformation. Knowledge is science, a lot of science. There is a psychology, there is a process, there is a sociology, there is politics, there is bureaucracy, there is statistics. You name the subject, it is there in the agile transformation, because you are trying to transform an existing organization which is running the business. It is like performing heart surgery while heart is still working, right? It's not easy. So transformation is not easy. So who will become a good cardiologist? Those who can perform the surgery when the heart is still beating, right? So that's what exactly we are trying to do here. So if you're able to successfully transform an organization which is running, you're not stopping the ongoing business. While business is running, you should be able to transform. So that's what is the beauty of any um, SAFe consultant or agile transformation consultant. That is an art. Implementation of SAFe is an art. So when there is too much of science, what happens is that art becomes difficult. That's where exactly SAFe Lite fills the role. So and I'm really happy that Scaled Agile has introduced the SAFe Lite. So if we look at SAFe Lite, a lot of things are not here, right? So what is missing? So if we look at, there is a continuous learning culture, which is one of the core competencies that is missing, right? And we have team and technical agility, agile product delivery, enterprise solution, and lean portfolio management. And one more core competency that is missing here is in the SAFe Lite is the organizational agility. So what does it mean? So does it mean that we don't need continuous learning culture and organizational agility when we are going for SAFe Lite? So it sounds like, yeah, you don't need it, right? That is not true. So if you want your organization to grow bigger and better, you need learning culture, and also you need continuous learning culture, and as well as the organizational agility. But there are some places where you don't have to, you really don't need them. And if you carefully observe again, so there is no spanning palette, which is on the right side, the shared services kind of stuff and everything that is related to the spanning palette. So I'm just showing you the full picture of SAFe. So if you see the AI, shared services, communities of practice, system team, measure and grow, all these things, OKRs are not there on the SAFe Lite. So in the SAFe Lite, you see very minimalistic approach. So what does it mean? Is it that the SAFe is trying to dilute this? That's the impression you will get, right? So say the Scaled Agile is trying to dilute SAFe by having SAFe Lite and trying to attract the people for SAFe Lite, right? Uh, no, that's not exactly the reason. So what has happened is that the biggest problem several companies have faced with SAFe is that, and one of the prime assumption that I would say, not prime assumption, one of the things that happens in the SAFe is that we always talk about the product and solution, product solution, product solution. So go to any SAFe page, right? So there'll be a product or solution. So the solution that you are building for the customer and a product that you are building for the customer, the central focus has been always on the product and the solution, right? And yeah, so they are important at the end of the day. The product and solution are important for your customer. Now, if the focus is completely on the product and solution, then what happens is that you are overkilling it. Think about the contracts which are outsourced. Think about the solutions that are built by lightweight solutions. What happens? Do you really need so much of innovation? Do you really need so much of uh, the focus on the technology and everything? Probably the answer is no. So you might be wondering like what nonsense I'm talking, right? So let me give an example. Okay. So you all must be fans of maybe a cricket or a soccer or football or anything, right? And my favorite place is that, so for business news, I go to moneycontrol.com and cnbc.com. Okay. So what is the primary role of these websites? And I watch cricket, so I go to ESPN cricinfo.com. So what exactly these sites are doing? They are mostly providing the information, right? They're not solving any problem. They are providing information. So information is something that you are collecting from your journalists or maybe from various other sources, compiling it and presenting it, right? And these are the when you are ESPN cricinfo.com, the portal itself is a big business generator, right? So there is nothing major innovation about this kind of websites. The content is your key. Content is your master, right? That's one example. Other example, right? So uh, one of my friend who is an assistant director in a movie, for he works for movies, he has implemented, guess what? Essential Safe. I'm not kidding. So for every scene, he considers it's like a sprint, and then what actors have to do, what makeup artists have to do, and what a music director has to do. So he puts them into a small stories. So that is a place where you are not innovating much, but you know what exactly to do. So that's another place. So and another place is that another attorney who has about a team of 40 people. He also implemented Essential Safe. And again, here there is not much scope for innovation. So innovation happens on their job, but not on the services that they are providing. So where your product is speaking, but product is not the business. Your product is not the business. Your service is the business. And what your customer is consuming from you is the business, right? That is where your safe light is going to be safe light is going to play a vital role. Okay, so that's one area of focus where safe light plays a major role. And second area is outsourcing contracts. So companies like which are into the outsourcing business, if we look at the full safe is completely product focused, your portfolio focused. Major multiple big organizations will have multiple products and multiple solutions which are used for the customers, right? And in those cases, your advantage, competitive advantage matters big time. So you need to have the design thinking, you need to have the shared services to optimize the cost. You cannot be burning the money like the way you like, right? And you need to have the system team, you need to measure and grow, because innovation drives those companies. Innovations are going to drive those companies, and your product should have a roadmap, and your organization should have the OKRs, right? And then you capitalize on the artificial intelligence. These are all the things which are going to play a major role when your solution and product are unique in the market, and you are competing with those products and solutions uh, when compared to the when you're competing with your other competitors. So those are the places where full safe is going to really help. And one biggest thing that I want to say is that what happens, I am in a market where product and solution are like really big things, and I don't want to implement full safe. Can I survive? Yeah. Who says that you cannot survive? You can survive. But if you want to continuously have a competitive advantage, continuously want to be on the top of the market, full safe or your essential safe or large solution safe are going to play a major role, because they are going to provide a distinctive advantage over the others. And again, remember, many times many people confuse roles with responsibilities. And what we talk about here are the responsibilities of the individual in the full safe or even the light SAFe Lite, that your responsibilities matter. What your role in the organization doesn't matter. You may be a director, vice president, CEO, CXO, whatever the title that you have. Your title is not going to make any difference. But what is your responsibility? So your title may be director, but you are working as an RTE, right? So your responsibility is an RTE. So as an RTE, what exactly you are doing? And how is your mental makeup? So understanding the big picture is going to be really helpful when you have your product as the solution, your product or solution as the primary driver of your business. Okay, and in that particular place, you really have to invest to get that competitive advantage and keep your product or solution at the top in the market. If we go back to the SAFe Lite, in the examples that I mentioned, they are going to be really overhead. They're going to be really overhead. That means what you call the margin. There is a economic term. So as you spend more, the amount of returns are going to be less. So I'm not getting the term. So what happens is that as you keep investing, your returns are also going to grow. But at some point, when you start investing more, your returns are going to become stagnant, are going to become lesser. So if I add OKRs and kind of stuff for outsourced projects or AI kind of stuff, they may not be the law of diminishing returns. Correct. So that's called law of diminishing returns. So law of diminishing returns can apply. So you have to use law of diminishing returns where it is applicable, use it. Where it is not applicable, don't use it. And I want to give another example of a large solution. So I'm pretty sure you must have heard about the James Webb Telescope. So when the James Webb Telescope was built and deployed into the space, uh, I don't say that they have used SAFe, but if you really observe how they have built the James Webb Telescope, they have used all the concepts of SAFe, all the concepts of SAFe. So there is a documentary on Netflix if you guys want to watch. So how James Webb Telescope was built? It was built over a period of 10 years. One solution built across multiple continents, built by multiple people from multiple continents, and how they were able to achieve continuous integration, and then how they were testing it, and how they were building it, and how they repaired it. That whole collaboration and collaboration, I don't want to use the word coordination, the whole collaboration has been very beautifully done. And your full safe always helps you to avoid single point of failures. Okay. And I believe you understand what is a single point of failure. Single point of failure is a failure. If that particular place fails, then your system will collapse. So that is what is called the single point of failure. And when they started with the James Webb Telescope design, they identified about 11,000 single point of failures. 11,000 single point of failures. And now those single point of failures have to be avoided, right? And finally, when they deployed James Webb Telescope in the space, they still had about 300 single point of failures. So they know it very well. And this is possible to identify the single point of failures and to rectify those single point of failures, and what action to do when there is a single point, there are multiple single point of failures, or there is a single point of failure. Your full safe or large solution safe, whatever based on your product and solution, are going to be really, really, really helpful. So imagine what happens if your ESPN.com goes down. Is there going to be any big loss to the organization? No, right? So they can recover in no time, because it is a static information, and information that you are providing is not critical that it is going to play with the lives of the people, right? If your newspaper, any newspaper.com is not working for a minute or so, you don't care. But imagine a doctor is performing the surgery and suddenly the machine does not work for a minute. Can you offer that? No, you cannot. So these are the mission critical operations. So SAFe started treating every business, every product, and every solution as the mission critical item. And in fact, for companies which are building the products and solutions, it has to be mission critical, and it is mission critical. So in those scenarios, you must, you must, you must go for all the elements of SAFe. What happens if you don't go with all elements of SAFe? You will see the you will see that your acceleration is not as much as you expected. And where you don't have mission critical solutions and failure is okay, big failures are tolerated, you can go with the SAFe Lite. That is my perspective in between the SAFe Lite and SAFe. So some guidance I wanted to provide between the SAFe Lite and SAFe. So look at this, right? Uh, let's focus on relentless improvement. So do we need to improve every day? Answer probably no, we don't need to improve every day. So then there is a lot of focus on relentless improvement. So if you have a lot of focus on relentless improvement, yes, go with full SAFe. And again, I will give an example for less focus on relentless improvement and full focus on relentless improvement, right? So uh, if there are changes every day on a website, like a newspaper website, what happens? Your navigation is going to become difficult, correct? Your process can change, but your product or solution should not significantly change, right? So that's where you don't need relentless improvement on the product or solution. And whereas efficiency matters in products and solutions, big solutions. So where there is a lot of focus on relentless improvement, go with the full SAFe, and you are equipping yourself to face the market challenge. Okay. And if you are going for a fixed bid projects, right? You are an outsourcing company, and then if you are going for a fixed bid projects, fixed bid contracts, SAFe Lite is better because it's not going to cost you higher compared to full SAFe. And if you have T&M contracts where your customer is consuming your employees and your resources, then go with the full SAFe, because that's where you'll be able to add a lot of value to the product or the solution. Okay. And again, as I mentioned earlier, so where you don't have much need for the innovation, you can go with the SAFe Lite. If there is a lot of emphasis on the product innovation and you have intense competition from the competitors, go with the full SAFe. So as I mentioned, there is no spanning palette in the SAFe Lite, and in the full SAFe there is a spanning palette, and spanning palette is going to play a vital role. So what is a spanning palette? This is a spanning palette, right? And in the spanning palette, guidance that we give as SAFe professionals is that use what is required, right? But if you ask me, if you are into a product development or a solution development, I will use all of these things. I'll use
Yeah.
all the
Hello. Yes.
palettes, elements. Yeah. Someone had a question? Okay. I think they were talking on the phone. So that's what exactly I would say the biggest difference would be. Okay. Um, anyone has any questions so far? Hari?
Yeah, a couple of questions.
Right, go ahead.
The first one, I just wanted to ask you how you differentiate SAFe Lite with Essential SAFe. And
That's
the second one, we do have the so-called Agile release tram. Yeah, that is also in lines with SAFe Lite.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
how do we differentiate all these concepts? And they're all part of SAFe.
Yeah. So if we go back to the essential SAFe, right? Let me go to the next picture here. In essential SAFe, you are not talking about the lean portfolio management. See here.
Yeah.
So when you use essential SAFe for when you have only one train, and in the essential SAFe there is very less focus on LPM. So I say that there is no LPM in the essential SAFe? That would be a lie. Okay. So one train building multiple solutions is possible, correct? So when one train is building multiple solutions, you will still have LPM, but you will not be going for the full-blown LPM implementation. You still have the participatory budgeting. You still balance out what product should take which form, which product should get more budget and all, right? So and when it comes to the SAFe Lite, again you can see several differences, right? So one is that continuous delivery pipeline exists in both the places, and you have agile team and art in both the places. Continuous exploration is something that may not be of much focus. Okay, continuous exploration. As I mentioned, again, it goes in line with the innovation. Innovation will be there, but not as intense as it is required in a product-based company. So when innovation does not have to be as intense as it has to be, then what you are going to do, you are going to go with you are going to focus less on the continuous exploration, because continuous exploration is a place where you are trying to enhance and improve your product big time, right? And that is kind of going to take a little bit of you're going to have a little bit of advantage there. And DevSecOps is again focus is going to be a little bit lesser compared to what you do in Essential Safe. So in the product, if you are building a product, your DevSecOps are going to be very, very important. Again, I mentioned earlier, right? So if your favorite newspaper goes down, newspaper website goes down for a minute or two, you don't care. You really don't care, because it's not going to impact, it's not going to collapse your life. It is going to come back, right? So focus on the DevSecOps is going to be much lesser compared to the intensity with which you do in the in a Essential Safe. So that is one of the big differences, Harry.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, or did I miss anything?
Yeah, good. And how about with Agile release RAM?
Agile release train will be there. Agile release train will be there in both the scenarios. And what I would say is that, again, safe professionals, the true professionals may not agree. True theory people may not agree. There is a team topologies concept in safe, right? So where we talk about the uh, streamlined teams, and then specialty teams kind of stuff. So team topologies, again, don't have to focus so much on the team topologies when it comes to the agile release train, because team topologies, while it gives a great advantage, it also comes with a different disadvantage also, a little bit of disadvantage also. That's again my own bias, because you are differentiating the teams. And I've been always a proponent of component teams, because component teams are like, they all work in the similar fashion. And today we focus more on the modular design when it comes to the architecture of any solution. When you are talking about the modular design, uh, component teams can be much more productive than the team topologies. So again, team topology is a great concept when you are building a product. And component teams can provide 80 to 90% of efficiency compared to the team topologies recommendation. That's again in I have seen. So I run another company, which is a product-based company. So I'm stuck with the component teams. It's not like I don't like, or I don't want to go to the team topologies concepts, but component teams are giving much more efficiency. And the biggest advantage is that if I want to downsize or increase my team, if I have a agile release train of 7 teams, and if I differentiate like 3 streamlined teams, and then one uh, uh, systems team, one enabling team kind of stuff, if I have to reduce my train size, it's going to be complicated. If all my team members are component teams, if I have to reduce, I can just get rid of one component team and my train will be intact. And if I want to add one more team, I'll just add another component team. So that makes life easier for many people. And again, team topology is at a very high level of maturity. That is the reason I am not a great fan of team topologies. Okay. Anybody else has any other questions? If you are a startup, okay, and I want to say this: if you are a startup, go with SAFe Lite. Okay. And another thing that I want to say is that if you are going with the full SAFe, every responsibility that is mentioned, not the role. I keep saying every responsibility that is mentioned in full SAFe, try to have an FTE, full-time engineer, full-time employee, whatever you want to call it, for those particular roles. And whereas in SAFe Lite, you can combine the roles. Again, this is not a safe recommendation. This is not Skillagil's recommendation, but I'm saying it out of my experience. Okay. To give an example, in my company, in another company, the second company that I'm running, I have a Scrum Master who is also a tester. Okay. And is it giving me negative results? Answer is no. It is not giving me negative results. Okay, my productivity is still as much as I want it to be. And when I grow bigger, will I add a separate tester and then combine segregate the responsibility? Answer is yes. And you can challenge me, or other safe professionals can challenge and say that, okay, Scrum Master mindset is different, tester mindset is different. Yes, that is 100% true. Scrum Master mindset and tester mindset are different. But if you are able to carefully craft, it is possible. Okay. Uh, Deeper understanding of the responsibility may not be required in SAFe Lite. Remember that. Mistakes can be tolerated in the SAFe Lite. Again, all this boils down to the fact that your solution or your product is not a showstopper, or it is not impacting your life in day-to-day system. And anything that is not impacting your life in day-to-day can is fail tolerant, and when it is fail tolerant, go with SAFe Lite. As simple as that. Okay. So with that, without going much deeper, I want to open for more questions. Pallavi, I think you had a question. I think I saw your hand being raised.
No, I do not have a question. I just gave thumbs up to the thing which you said about combining role.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, if you are more into the startup, go with the SAFe Lite. So that will absolutely work fine. Okay, cool. So if we do not have any questions, I would only make a couple of requests. Please send a LinkedIn request. You will see the same face with a different shirt on LinkedIn. And if we are already connected, I'll say thanks to you guys. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, I was not much active in the market as I was pursuing more on the business side. And Agile Fever was definitely behind me saying that, okay, no, you shouldn't waste your talents and then be more in the market. So we'll have more and more series, and there is another webinar coming up in the next 1 month. You'll see more of me in the market, and I'm happy to share my knowledge. So to give a gist of my professional background, so you name any Fortune 50, like probably I've worked there. So Apple, I worked, and where I was responsible for only one file, that is called the IDMS file, and your IDMS file is the one that uses to send your iMessage and then FaceTime calls. So you know the responsibility. I was responsible for that IDMS. Whenever you send a text, iMessage, whenever you make a FaceTime call or FaceTime audio, it goes through the IDMS system. So I was responsible for that one. And I was also involved with the Goldman Sachs and Apple's credit card, where I was managing where I was guiding the teams which I was responsible for the credit card scoring. Whenever you swipe that, not scoring, so credit card points. And I was with Walmart, and I was with Morgan Stanley, Fannie Mae. So these are big clients for me in the US. And right now trying to get into the US government sector. That's where that my brief professional profile has been. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Happy to support. Okay, over to you, Sai.
Yeah. So you guys, I think you haven't had any questions yet. So that's wrap up for today's session. Thank you all for joining, and a special thanks to our speaker, Sriram.